going on, guys? What do you think of my new ride? I had to drop the semi-truck off somewhere, so they lent me this truck. It's Ford Explorer. But it's been a while. I got some updates coming, so I'm going to let you guys know what all has been going on. Now this is my actual new ride. I haven't driven it for a month, so let's see if she'll even start. Ooh, she started. Yeah, this is my new, to me, 2011 Jeep Liberty, which I know I never thought I'd buy a Liberty. I've always been a Wrangler guy. But I was looking for something to pull behind the motorhome. I was looking at older Cherokees, and this popped up, and I couldn't resist it. This thing's modified, it's built up a little bit, and it's the best looking Liberty I've ever seen. I'm gonna put a winch on that bumper eventually. But I love this rear spare tire carrier. This is a discontinued item. They don't even make this rear bumper anymore for these Jeeps, for these Liberties, but it's a very desired item, but I love it. But this is this is kind of what caught my eye when I ran across it online, and I just kind of had to buy it. It's got the swing away tire carrier. Pull that, and then this opens up. Got access to your tailgate. I figure I'll put a jerry can or something right there. Yeah, we're going to use this to go, like I said, we're going to tow it behind the motorhome. And we'll take it out to places like Moab and Colorado and all that kind of stuff where we can have some fun with it. And I'll probably sometime get a rear locker for it, probably like a rear Aussie locker. It's kind of an automatic locker. Anyway, let's go ahead and get in here so we can put the Explorer, and I'll tell you why I have that here in a minute. So we can put that Explorer in this spot. Hey, like I said, this is 2011, and this is, it looks like it's been very well kept. Whoever had this before me seemed to be a true enthusiast. He knew what to do with these things. And one common problem with these Jeeps is the oil pan will rust, like just completely rust out on these Liberties. And I got down under there and looked at it when I went to look at it, and it looks like it's a brand new oil pan. I mean, it looks like they just replaced the oil pan. Still shiny paint and everything. So, you know, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's got 93,000 miles, or at least it did when I bought it. It's up to 95 now. But like I said, super nice interior. Fully loaded model. I like it. The only thing it doesn't have is the Sunrider top, which I'm fine with that because they leak like a sieve. So I'm pretty happy I don't have that. But everything works though. The light bar works up there. It's all wired in. I mean, it seems like everything was done professionally. And like I said, I'm going to put a winch here since I already got the winch mount. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased. There's the Exploder. All right. Oh, the brakes on here are dragging a little. There we go. This thing's been sitting for a while. Oh yeah, you can hear the rust on the brakes. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. 1 second. All right, guys, what is going on? I found the perfect place to put this camera or this phone. It's like actually almost as if that was in mind when this Jeep was made. Yes, updates. I've been real quick as to why I had the Explorer there. And yes, I do still have my Lexus. I did not get rid of that. I just can't seem to.
It was at this moment Jackson knew. He fucked up.
Oh shit! Hang on a second. My carrier did not latch all the way. Anyway, my truck threw some codes, and I'm not exactly sure. Like it's kind of weird. I know one of them needs a new knock sensor, new inlet knock sensor. So I just had them go ahead and order 2 new sensors. That way I can get them in there, because I'm sure they're both on their way out. But the first code I got had to do with the inlet knock sensor. Something about the dew point not being reached. Like the computer sends out a signal, and then the inlet knock sensor is supposed to it sends the signal back to the computer to, you know, I guess to let it know it can sense moisture or something. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, it wasn't sending the signal back to the computer, so that knock sensor needs replaced. And like I said, they're just going to go ahead and do the outlet too. But then, like, as I'm driving through Ohio last night, the check engine, or the MIL light comes on again. See, on trucks they have the MIL light, and then they have the check engine light. And the MIL light is usually not as serious as the check engine light itself, but it can vary. Anyways, it came on, and I was able to get the code off of it, and the code said something about, it was a 5357, and then a FMI of 16. Something about too much, or the fuel is too, like the fuel's too high, or like basically it's like the fuel mixture is too high. Is basically what it was coming down to. And I looked it up online, and it most likely has to do with the Delta port pressure sensor, the Delta pressure sensor, I'm sorry, which a lot of people refer to it as the Delta P sensor. So anyway, that could be bad. It could have a chafed wire. I'm not really sure, but they're going to look into that. But the cool thing about this shop, and it's Keith's Truck and Trailer in Russia, Ohio, and it's spelled just like Russia, but pronounced Russia. Anyway, they took the truck to them, which I've always had decent luck with them. They rebuilt my transmission when that went out. They've done some things on my truck. So I was gonna try, like, if it was just the knock sensors, they were gonna try to do it while I was there. That way I didn't have to worry about my wife coming to get me, because it's about an hour and 45 minutes away from our house. So I knew I'd have to leave it there overnight so they could diagnose this issue now. And they told me that they had loaner cars. And I'm like, really? So they set me up in that Ford Explorer. Now, there's a little fee to it. It's not free, but it's not very expensive either. It's 36 cents a mile. And I only had to drive it from their shop to the yard where I had my Jeep. Which is like 10 miles, 15 miles at most. So it wasn't really that far. You can hear those tires. They sound like bad wheel bearings, but I'm surprised how loud these BFG all-terrain KO2s are. But anyway, so yeah, they let me use it, and you don't pay for it per day. You just pay for it for the miles. So they know I'm not going to be able to have it back to them until Saturday, which is hopefully when I can pick the truck up. I haven't booked another load yet, but that leads us to the next update. I am no longer with the company I was at pulling reefer. I went back to the spot market. I went back to PDP Trucking, which is where I was when I first bought my truck. I was at PDP, and I have a little comparison. A lot of people like to debate between what's better, direct customer freight and running the spot market. You know, a lot of people say direct customer freight's better because you're guaranteed this rate. A lot of people say that the spot market's better because of whatever their reasons are. Well, now that I've done both, you know, let me compare and contrast. And I will let you decide whether or not, you know, which one might be better for you. Now, granted, the company I was with was a very small company. We didn't have direct customers to come back with. So we only had direct customers to go out, and then we would, and then, you know, they look for something on the spot market to bring us back home so that we could then grab another load from the customer and go back out. So a lot of the bigger companies, you know, like Prime and things like that, they're going to have direct customers everywhere, you know, so you're not going to really run into this problem as much. But here's the problem I ran into with direct customer freight. Only my personal experience. The biggest problem was once we got the load delivered and we were looking for a load to come back on the spot market, if there wasn't a load coming back into the relative exact area that the customer freight was, we had to deadhead all the way back from where we delivered back home to pick up the next customer load. And these were sometimes as high as 650 miles that we had to deadhead, and sometimes it would be a couple times a week. And I was putting all this, you know, I wasn't being compensated at all for the deadhead miles, not one bit. So it was just a complete loss when I did that. And I don't mind deadheading from time to time, even a fairly high number of miles. But when it's repetitive like that, you lose money hand over foot, you know. So it was starting to really eat at me. So there's the problem with my experience with customer freight, was finding loads coming back. If you couldn't find a load to come back, to appease your customer, you had to deadhead back. Now, with spot market, you don't have to do that. Even if you want to be out and back, and be home as often as you can be, especially when you're in a market like I am, you know, the Ohio, you know, Cincinnati, Columbus area, Dayton, all that. It's pretty easy to go out and back and be home quite often. But if you can't find a load coming home from when you went out, then you're on the spot market and you don't have a customer to satisfy. So you can take a load anywhere. If you can't find a load going straight back to the house, well, you can take a load, you know, like if I take a load to I don't know, to Allentown, I'll just say Allentown. If I can't find a load coming straight back into the area of my house, well, I'll take a load to Atlanta, you know, and then I'll take a load from Atlanta to the house. Or if I can't find something from Atlanta, I'll take a load from Atlanta to, you know, York, PA, or something like that. You know, those lanes are pretty good lanes, by the way. The Atlanta to York and vice versa, you know, they're pretty good lanes, and especially from my area to Pennsylvania and the New England states, you know, it's really good. I mean, the lanes are awesome, and they're paying damn near triple on the spot market what I was getting paid pulling the customer freight right now. And it'll fluctuate, you know. I mean, the spot market, it's at a high right now, and there's only one way for it to go eventually. But for right now, we're riding it out and enjoying it. But anyway, yeah, that right there, that's, in my experience, a compare and contrast of the customer freight versus spot market freight. So, you know, take that with, like I said, take that with a grain of salt, do with it what you want. And like I said, the bigger companies out there that have customer freight, Prime, Crete, carriers like that, they're going to have customer freight everywhere that goes everywhere. So you're not going to run into that problem. But when you go to these small companies like I was at, that may not have direct, like they'll have direct customers to go out, but they rely on the load board to get back in with, you're going to be looking at some deadhead from time to time, and it's not going to be small. You know, like I said, there were multiple weeks where I probably racked up just in deadhead miles, 1,400 miles just in deadhead in 1 week. So and that doesn't include the deadhead that of the days where I actually had a load to pick up and I was deadheading to that load to pick up. Those are just the deadhead miles to go back home to pick up the customer load. And, it was really putting a hurting on me a little bit. So, like I said, I had to make a change. And that's what you got to do. You got to be able to adapt out here, you know. If something happens and you have to make a change for the company, well, then you got to do what you got to do. And, yeah, I was home a lot with her, but I can be home just as much. Right now, I'm catching up on some stuff, so I was actually out for about a month. I was catching up on some things that I got behind on because, like I said, I was just going down. I mean, it wasn't pretty. And then it didn't help that I made the switch right during the time that Texas shut down for that big winter storm. And PDP's in Texas, and I had to go to PDP to get everything I needed. I had to bobtail there, and I couldn't bobtail. Everything was closed. Everything down there was closed. So I was stuck at home for 2 weeks after I left the last carrier I was at. So I went 2 weeks, on top of that, I went 2 weeks with no income because of that storm. So that was just it was just a bad time. I didn't know the storm was going to do what it did. I left with the last carrier. When I left the last carrier, there was still green grass. It wasn't bad out yet. But I had to do an online Skype. They did orientation over Skype, and I, was doing that at home, and then I was gonna head straight down there. Well, then they got nailed with the storm, so it put me out of work for a couple of weeks. But we managed, and man, I came back with vengeance after I got on that spot market. I'm telling you what, it's great. It's really good. But like I said, I won't necessarily talk numbers right now, but it's better than I've ever been. I mean, it's just great. So, like I said, I'm going home now finally, and right now when I go home, we got to come back right up to where I just was and pick up our motorhome and take that to the shop and get some things done to it. It's a never-ending cycle of getting maintenance done to crap when you have all these machines, cars, motorhome, truck, all that crap. But like I said, I'm hoping to go back out on Saturday. There's a lot of loads that come out of my area on Saturday. And I live just down the road from the Budweiser plant in Trenton, Ohio. Like literally, I'm 10 miles down the road. I just don't like beer loads because they're so heavy, but they pay right now, especially going out to the East Coast, $4 a mile, $4 a mile. And the rates coming back from the East Coast are better than I've ever seen. I just took a load from, I'll put this one out there. I just took a load to get me back home. I grabbed a load in Newville, Pennsylvania, which is down there by Carlisle. Took it to Tip City, Ohio, which is 5 miles from where I park my Jeep and truck. And it was 400 miles total. I got it for $1,500. Paid it was 9,000 pounds, and I got it for $1,500. Rates, the last time I was on the spot market, rates coming from that area were terrible. I mean, terrible. But man, they're I would have been lucky to get a load like that for $700. But now, like I said, $1,500 for that load. And I probably could have gotten more out of it because I just emailed the broker. He was wanting $1,300 for it. He was wanting to do it for $1,300. And I just emailed him because they'd already gone home for the day. And I said, hey, would you do it for 15? And he came back right away, said they could do 15. So I probably could have gotten a little more out of it, but you're still looking at like $3.60 a mile on that load. So I wasn't really going to complain. But anyway, that's the updates. Now, like I said, I know it's been a while since I've been on here. And this isn't a very glamorous video. I'm just kind of giving you some updates and driving in my Jeep. Yeah, I love the Jeep though, man. I'm telling you. Can't wait to pull it behind the motorhome. Yeah, like I said, I couldn't really... It's funny, when I got rid of my last Jeep, that Rubicon, and I traded it for the Lexus, I thought that I was going to be able to pull the Lexus behind the motorhome. But I bought the Lexus, and there's no neutral for the transfer case. Can't pull it. Not 4 down, anyway. So, you know, Jeeps are pretty much designed to be pulled behind a motorhome 4 down, which means flat toe. They really are. They're fantastic vehicles. You know, whether it's the Liberty or a Grand Cherokee or Wrangler, obviously, they're all great choices to pull behind a motorhome. And like I said, I was looking at like the later year XJs, you know, like 97 to 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJs. And I wanted one that was mildly built so I could, you know, have some fun with it too. But finding one in good shape with no rust, you're going to pay as much for that, almost as much for that as I did for this. And this is a 2011. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the tried and true 4.0 under the hood, which I wish it did, but this one's got a lot more torque. You know, and there are some common issues with this one, but you know, it's like I said, when I bought it, it's running great. It's one of the first vehicles I think I've ever bought that didn't flash the checker, didn't show the check engine light the minute I got it home after buying it. So that's a win in my book. But you know, it's so far it's been pretty good. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna get on home and we'll get back up there and get the motor home. And then I got to be home again by Wednesday this coming week, which is why I want to go out Saturday. I got to be home Wednesday this coming week for, I'm going to be home for the wife's birthday, which her birthday is April 1st. No lie. So I'm going to be home for that. I was out over my birthday and I was out over our anniversary. So, main reason for that, I was going to try to be home, but, I actually got, at least I assume it was COVID. I contracted COVID, and my wife, she's now pregnant with our 3rd child, and I obviously didn't want to expose her or our kids to that. So everywhere I went, I masked up, but I still did my job. But I had every single symptom except for a fever. Shortness of breath, loss of taste, loss of smell, fatigue, dizziness. I ended up getting a hotel for a couple nights, just to let the worst of it blow by, but it lasted a while. It was a good 2 week. I mean, you know, it was based, to me, the best way I can explain it, and this is again my experience, but to me it was just a really bad flu and with a case of pneumonia. That's what it felt like to me. You know, I had shortness of breath and it was pretty bad, but I never felt like I needed to go to a hospital. So I was good. I eventually got better. But like I said, I know it wasn't a flu because, or the flu anyway, because it lasted way too long. But I'm pretty sure it was COVID. But like I said, it's been a little while since I've had any symptoms. So I feel like it's safe to go home.
Once. Okay.
We're going to do that one now?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Go. I won. We both read.
And let's do the loop-de-loop.
Okay.
Oh!
It just missed me.
Oh, mine went way over there. That's cool.
Yeah.
What?
Go get yours.
Okay, I'll go get mine.
Oh, I went backwards.
You went backwards?
Yeah. The crack didn't go backwards.
Oh, you crashed.
And
Here we go.
he made me.
Oh, I really crashed. Alright guys, what do you say we wash this thing? It's been a little while. We'll go right up here to this car wash here. And get her all looking nice and shiny. Perfect day. Choose the right side here. Looks like the left side's just starting, so should be a little faster on this side. All right, got the sunroof closed. Let's get her washed. Oh, look at that. I feel like I'm sitting in a bowl of Fruit Loops. Let's go ahead and get out and look at it here. Oh yeah, she's looking good. Better, that's for sure. Alright, now let's go get fuel in this thing, some gas, and go pick up the Jeep. Maybe do the same thing. Alright, a full tank of fuel. Now let's go get that Jeep. And I gotta go get some blood pressure medicine. So let's go ahead and do that. And like I said, maybe take the Jeep through the car wash too. It needs it more than this thing does. There be the Jeep. All right. Oh, she looks shiny. Where are you going, Bubby? I forget which side your car seat's on, Bubby. Let's see here. Nope, wrong side.
Daddy, that's Cece's.
Yep, that's Sissy's side.
But is there one mouse come out?
What, buddy?
Mouse come out?
All right, go ahead and climb on in there.
Yeah, there's
Can you get in there, or is that too far? Let me hold your hand.
that is too far.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Whee!
Beep, beep, beep.
All right.
I want to sit in Cece's.
No, you can't sit in Sissy's.
Why?
That's just a booster seat. You need a car seat still.
Oh, hi, Daddy.
Hello.
Why do I can't sit in the corner?
Because you're too young to sit in the front.
But when I was sitting in Mommy's van yesterday.
You were sitting in the front of Mommy's van yesterday?
And
Well, it's probably because you were only going like through the neighborhood. Right? All right, let's go.
Okay.
Want to get the Jeep washed?
What?
Want to get the Jeep washed?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
It's kind of dirty.
It's kind of dirty.
Yeah.
It is, huh?
I'm gonna go out there car wash.
Yeah, we're going to go through the car wash.
Oh.
You want me to open the sunroof?
What?
Want me to open the sunroof?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
No. Ready, Bubby?
Yep.
Let's do it. Got the sunroof closed? Yes, we do. All right. And we'll stop right. Oh, perfect.
What? Why are you doing this?
Because I want to clean the Jeep.
Oh.
Hey, buddy. All right. There we go. If you want. Yeah, so not too long ago, someone hit this thing with a trailer on a semi. What, Bubby?
Why were you getting arrested?
I wasn't. So it looks pretty good now, but you got to be careful when you wash
But
this
it's
thing.
all clean now.
It's all clean now, huh?
Clean arrested.
Yeah. But we had to replace the whole new, get a whole new headlight for it.
The tires are dirty.
The tires are going to be dirty. Yeah.
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 But the
We had to get a whole new
dirty is
front
in
cover bumper here.
Tire dirty is now.
The tires are dirty.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to happen when you drive them. So, yeah, I thank you to the guy who backed his trailer into it with an ICC bumper and poked a hole right through there. That was swell of him. Glad I could pay for his mistake. But we're good now.
Dirty.
Alexis is dirty?
No, the garage is
Oh, the garage? Yeah, the garage is definitely dirty.
dirty.
Yeah, it's a dirty garage.
Yeah.
But there's the two lined up. Oh, yeah. What do you think?
What?
You like these two cars?
I don't like the ones. I like the Jeep better.
You like the Jeep better?
Yeah.
Mm.
Why it was on the street?
Why was it on the street?
I want to play on their street.
Oh, you want to play on the street?
Yeah. I
Okay.
want to play on it.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, guys, I'm going to go and get off here. Thank you for watching this. And I know it's been a while since I've had one on here, but we're going to play some baseball because that's what Daddy does sometimes. He just talks to his phone. So we're going to get off here. And again, appreciate you guys watching. And it's been, like I said, it's been a long time. Like I said, there were some updates, and I hope you enjoyed the comparison between dedicated freight and spot market freight, in my opinion. Got to keep reiterating that. But anyway, we're going to play some baseball. So you all have a good one out there and be safe, and we'll talk at you guys another time. See ya.